Hello. So my name is Allison Pino, and I'm an associate attorney at Raju Law. I've been working on NIW petitions for about a year now. And so this presentation is based off of what I found to be most helpful for our clients in the beginning stages and at the end of the NIW petition process. Let me see here. So this is basically what I'm going to go over. It's almost exactly what Mr. Mahajan was discussing, just a little bit more information as well. So the foundation of this presentation is about the duty of our clients, and which is to provide us with comprehensive documents so that we can expedite this process for you. That's really the key point of it. Is the more in-depth, the more thought out the documents that you provide us with, the faster and the more comprehensive that we can get this petition written for you in the first try. There is an editing process, and you can kind of dismiss most of the drafts. We don't need maybe 3 or 4 drafts if we get the information that we need in the very first stages. So again, the proposed endeavor, we kind of discussed already what it is. You're going to be provided a template within the first 2 weeks of you signing the retainer. The template is about 12 questions. And if you thoroughly write those out, if you need any help with that as well, you can always send us an email. Maybe you're not quite sure what the question is asking. For example, one of the questions is, how will your research have broad, far-reaching implications beyond one company or another? If you need a little bit of help, what do we mean by that? We're more than willing to help you out there. We just want to make sure that it's an in-depth and detailed answer, because that is going to be the foundation of your petition. So within those 12, again, questions, we want to see your goals, your potential future. Again, it doesn't have to be set in stone. It doesn't have to be, this is exactly what you're going to be doing in the future. It's just your ideas, your ambitions. And the more ambitious it is, the better. And so how to prepare for that is make sure your CV is updated. That's really one of the basics of all of the foundation documents that we have. Make sure your CV is updated. And review your experience. See what you want to discuss. It's going to be the things that are most particularized to your NIW petition. I know sometimes you can do a lot of projects or research that are in different realms throughout the years, but try to focus on your most recent works and your experience there, your jobs there as well. Highlight those. And so what we're going to really want you to do here is deliberate on what to emphasize. Think about, and even before signing the retainer agreement, think about what you want to focus on throughout your proposed endeavor. What is going to be your theme? That will be really helpful for you to expedite that process in the future. And again, the work summary is what it is. We're asking for 4 summaries at first for recent or significant projects. In the descriptions, again, we're going to ask for a technical, what someone of your peers or an expert in your field is going to be able to understand. Non-technical, maybe something that I will understand a little bit better, not knowing exactly what your industry requirements are. The scientific impact of your work, and any economical or social impact. What's going on in the world that's really relevant to your work today. It's actually very helpful where right now there's a lot of legislation being passed that can pertain to a lot of different industries. And the growth of those industries. So something of that, just start thinking about that, maybe start writing down when you're gathering your work summaries. I heard in the news that this was really relevant today, or I know someone wrote an article about that in this journal or in this news source, maybe within the past 6 months. That will be really helpful as well. If there's anything that you want us to highlight and emphasize, let us know your opinions on that as well. So what the work summaries is really going to be pertaining to is the economic impact assessment that we'll be writing. And that is also, I would say that goes hand in hand with your proposed endeavor when writing your petition. So that's more of an in-depth analysis of how you are benefiting your industry and how that's going to be beneficial to the United States. So anything there that you can highlight or you want us to emphasize, that would be a good idea to start thinking about that and then writing down those ideas. And so our letters of recommendation, again, so we're going to provide you with a template just to know what we have to discuss, what's the best things to think about. So what I would say is we do ask for at least 6, the 3 dependent, 3 independent, 3 that maybe know you very well, whether that's a colleague or a peer, a past relationship in a professional relationship, or 3 independent. One thing I found that clients, they often ask, how do I find that independent expert? And one thing I say is most people have been to conferences or they have business meetings or anything of that nature. Maybe you're part of an association. Try to find out someone from there. They're usually a really great resource to have. There's usually a discussion. You either meet someone there. That's going to be a really great resource or tool. Or maybe there's something, maybe you published an article, someone cited that. They would be a great resource as well. So start thinking about now in that time frame of who can I potentially use? There is the qualifications. There's a certain set of what we need from them. They have to be an expert. They have to have a degree in your field, any awards, accolades. That's really important that we know that their CV is up to date, their LinkedIn page is up to date, anything like that. And so the process of writing the letters of recommendation, that's going to be taking up a little bit more of the time. So the sooner you start thinking about that now, the better and the more expedited your petition will probably be in the long term. We can't control what the other person is, how much time they're going to need or what they're going to need. So that's kind of out of our hands. So we want to take care of that as soon as possible. So it's really important that our clients think about who their recommenders are going to be and start asking for that now. So how to contact them, make sure that, again, your CV is updated. Maybe your transcripts are updated, you have access to them, and your research summaries. So when you contact them, you could talk about, I know we worked on this project together, and I would love for maybe just remind them that this is what we are doing. This was really important to our industry, things of that nature. And we could also help you draft those letters of recommendation. That's something that we offer. And then we would send that to them for approval. But we would just need to know their contact information, things of that. So make sure that once you start thinking about your recommenders, that you have their contact information available, and that everything is set in that realm. It would make it just a lot better for you, for us, and for the entire process, that it's a little bit more streamlined that way. Let me see here. All right. And so just to go over that again, the guidelines and responsibility, the guidelines that you're going to receive within the 2 weeks of you signing your retainer are really the most time consuming and the most important. So that's when the process truly, really begins. Your economic impact analysis will be completed based off of these documents. Your petition will already begun to be written because of these guidelines and these templates that you're creating in those first couple of weeks. So in order for us to make sure that we are being the most time efficient as possible, start thinking about those little things now. Then you could expedite the process truly. And make sure that you're providing those comprehensive documents. If you need help at any time, at any stage, in any level of this process, we are more than willing to help you out there. There's a question you don't understand, or maybe there's something that you only wrote maybe in the template a couple lines, and you know that you want to write a little bit more on that. Ask us about it, and we're more than willing to help. Another thing that I wanted to talk about as your responsibility as a client would be throughout the editing process. One of the things that's also the comprehensive document is your petition. So after the first draft is sent to you by an associate, try to review it with a careful eye, and provide us with the most feedback that you can. Is there a portion that you want us to emphasize more? If something in the news that just came out that maybe we didn't get to right away, or maybe we missed. It's not often. We usually keep everything pretty updated and we look at the news quite often. But maybe there's something in your industry and it's going around that we didn't hear about, and you wanted us to emphasize. more than willing to look that over and make sure that that's included in your petition. So the editing process would be one of the huge duties that you have, is to make sure that everything is aligned to what you want it to be. We obviously will be doing our absolute best to make sure that the petition is the greatest that it could be. We just want to make sure that you're completely happy as well. And that is my presentation that I have right now. If you have any other questions, you're more than welcome to email me. I added my email at the bottom of this as well. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.